Flat Earth British subscriber channel. Big speaking. Hello. Thought I'd do a VanaVlog. I'm just thinking about Martin, you know, sort of like visiting the ley lines with his crystals and the truth, with some idea that he's going to heal the world, you know, by just kind of like interjoining with these ley lines, which apparently go across the plane. So yeah, good for him, good for everyone, you know, especially if it works. So I mean, I've got a feeling right now, and it's kind of like incensed. But at the same time, I'm like, you know, I've got to fucking sort this shit out. You know, all this shit, this whole thing about life. And it's a pity I lost my proper channel, because there was so much on there, just so much stuff. It was over 1,000 videos, over 1,000 vlogs. Gone. I was thinking again about it this morning, and I'm like, oh man, you know, for people that are new to this channel, or even people that aren't new, but you know, just forgot everything I've said, it's like I've got to do it all over again, and I'm like, I can't. Well, maybe I should, but I just want to fucking put an end to all the shit we're all going through, you know, this whole experience of life. You know, say things like your education. It was never taught to you for your own personal advancement in life. It wasn't there to give you any help. The education, it wasn't given to you so that you could be rich through hard work, or just you applying yourself to anything, you know. Just all of the education you received was to disable you from potentially what you could be. This is an example. I know loads of shit, things like that. And it's all in my last channel that's now terminated. So maybe it'd just be like a VanaVlog, do a VanaVlog just talking about truths. Maybe I just mention truths. The whole world is completely riddled with fear. It's fundamental of the human race on Earth. Everybody is terrified, and everybody is kept extremely busy, so they can't address their fears. They don't have time to really talk with people because everyone's working, everybody's busy, you know. And if you're not working, then there's 1,000,001 things for you to be distracted by, whether you want it or not. But that's all by design. It's all done on purpose. So really, everybody just kind of walks around like zombies, in fear, terrified of everything and anything. And most people are depressed because of tax, for example, because of money, the whole concept of money. You know, rather than living just by, you know, exchanging items, work. You've got this whole thing about money. And the system invented it. And the system invented it with at least two things in mind: to terrorise you, to make you live in fear, and to make sure that you never reach your own potential. About yourself, depending on the knowledge base that you have, you know that's a problem for you. You know it's a problem because sometimes it's not enough. You don't have enough knowledge, enough information. And then you can have somebody that you meet that they have more of a knowledge base on a particular subject than you do. And that causes complications. And then you meet people that have less. And then that causes complications for you. And you judge yourself by your knowledge base about how much knowledge you have. You judge yourself. You mirror yourself off of other people. And you allow other people to mirror themselves, which isn't a true reflection, but you allow other people to mirror themselves off of you. But not that they're looking for their own reflection, they're trying to give you their reflection and how they perceive themselves, which may not necessarily mean you, but just them. So they want you to view them as being better than you, or maybe worse than you. But it's that kind of a mirror effect thing that people do, and it's that mirror effect thing that you do as well. You know, that's silly, isn't it? Silly. Now, when I've thought about that thing in the past, I particularly think, I don't know why, but I think about Bono from U2. And to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of interviews on like TV online about him, and I don't think there is very many anyway. But you know, the ones that you have seen, you can tell that he just completely believes in himself. He knows that, you know, his skill set, and it's only one particular skill set, but you know, he's very good at his skill set, and other people in the same skill set are not as good, and so he judges himself to be better than most people. That's how it appears to me, you know, when I observe. But of course, you know, can he bake a cake? You know, can he fix a car engine? Can he ski? Can he do a high jump? You know, it may well be that he only has 7 skills compared to hundreds that he could have. But yet, you know, he's just an example, true or not, of what I'm talking about the human race and how people are and how you are. And it's really no way to think about yourself at all. And it doesn't help you, it doesn't aid you. So, unless you won the lottery, you'd never be rich. You'll never be rich. It doesn't matter how hard you work, you'll never be rich. One, because riches involves money, and money belongs to the system that's there to, is the word, subjugate you, to keep you down, to stop you from accruing riches. You know, you can have £1 million. They can flip a switch and that £1 million is worth 1p. They can do that. And day by day, they do that. They just flip the switch and the value of your money goes up and down and up and down. And it's not your property either. It's not your property. So that can be taken away from you and given back to the owners at any time. You know? So that's not going to work. The whole pursuit is a closed system. The whole thing about money and everything is a closed system. A loop that you cannot get into and you cannot take out from. It's just the truth. Bloody hell, this guy's slow. What else? the insanity of the world system, where you have a minority of people have fooled, completely fooled the majority of the rest of the human race, which goes into billions of people. I mean, when it comes to religious leaders, political leaders, royalty, how many of them are there on the earth in the year 2022? 100? 200? And then you've got like 8, 9, 10, I don't know, billion people on earth. Completely fooled about how they should live. And I've mentioned it on my old channel, but if you just like take a step back and just look at all of life, you know, you've got your trees, your grass, the sky, the sea, clouds, fruit, vegetable, animals, humanity, bugs, birds, whatever. You know? So this whole thing about technology, roads, cars, religion, industry, alchemy, the whole lot, everything that's been invented, everything that's become a rule, a guide, everything in all domains come from this small minority of people, and the billions just go along with it. I've explained how they've done it in a previous vlog on my terminated channel, in which I said, well, you know, basically it starts off at kindergarten or nursery. You're separated from your parents, you go through extreme trauma, and these places teachers, whatever you call them, they normalise the terror that you're going through. They say, no, it's fine. It's fine to be separated from your mum and your dad. It's fine. And to have that sense of loneliness is fine. To have that sense of desertion is fine. And to completely lose the freedom to just play all day is fine. You know, to become regimented, learn procedures, follow procedures, say yes sir, no sir, yes miss, no miss, etc, etc, etc. It's all fine, it's all normal, it's absolutely fine. And so living the way that humanity does is a coping mechanism given to the world by this minority of people, so they can securely control them from the rest of their life, from a very early trauma. Yeah. So every trauma that you now have as an adult in your life, how do you deal with the trauma? Well, spring clean the house, start doing overtime, keep yourself busy, join a sports club, There's always a procedure, it's always something that's a distraction. So you never really address the whole problem of trauma. Whatever's giving you the trauma, you never go to it to get rid of it or anything like that. You always, and that's how people live. That's how it all works, So if you can see that happening, I mean, I doubt you'd remember it of your own life when you was a toddler. But I mean, you can definitely see it in other children. And even if you don't have kids, you've only got to go and stand outside a nursery when the parent or parents are dropping off their babies to these places, and just watch the absolute terror on the children's faces, and the bewilderment and the confusion and the horror on the parents' faces. You can see it. They know it's wrong to give away their children to be locked up all day. They know it. They instinctively know it's not right. And what do? Oh, well, I had to go through it. My mum and dad went through it. Their parents went through it. Everybody does it. So it's okay. And I need to make sure every day that, I send my kid off, because that's the best thing for him. But what I'm saying, you've got to add all these things together, because it creates a picture. It's what's really going on. For example, some people have different ideas as to how long the Earth has been here. Some say thousands, some say millions, some say billions, some say hundreds. But in all of the time of all the people that have lived, died, and also taking into consideration that people in the past were far more advanced, people in general were far more advanced than they are generally with people today. People today generally they can be quick, they can be efficient in things that they do, but they completely lack the knowledge base, the wisdom of the people that have lived in the past. Now that doesn't make any sense, because you would think as time goes on, people will become clever, more advanced, gain more knowledge, gain better skills, etc, etc, etc. You'd think that would happen, and you'd be hard pressed to think of a reason why it wouldn't happen, and yet here we are. Can't build the Great Pyramids, can't build St Paul's Cathedral, and the list goes on. life? How do I live my life? I get up between 4 and 4:30 every morning, Monday to Friday, and I work all day. And then there's this concept of time that's a nonsense. It's kind of like a measurement. It's compartmentalism. And so every day is kind of compartmentalised into 7-day weeks, 4-week, 5-week, 3-week months, years, and periodically, for all the work that I do, there is no gain. I get money, and then the system takes all of my money, and people take my money, and then I have no money, and then I have to carry on working to get more money, and I achieve consistently nothing at all. Nothing. That's my life. I make other people rich, and I live like a slave. I mean, I literally do not get a reward for my work. There is no reward. And that's standard for most people, I believe. I've observed that that's the same for most people. Some people get lucky. Some people get lucky. Not a lot, but some. And they escape that way of life. I don't know, like they win a lottery, or they were just in the right place at the right time and somebody made them a great offer. You know, it could be anything, but you know, just things do happen, and some people get out of it, but they're few and far between. And most people live the way I live. And most people, like me, wonder to themselves, this can't be right, and I can't understand why I keep doing it, and I can't find a way out. That's how most people think. And because most people are completely consumed by the constant fear that they've distilled within themselves, and then they daily receive from the world, from people, from media, government, whatever, they don't think about it very much, and then they just try to forget, and then maybe work overtime, maybe clean their house, maybe join a club. And so, you know, in the end, nothing gets done. There's no solution, and everybody just carries on the way they've been carrying on. But as part of Flat Earth British, you know, it's my duty, my self-imposed duty, obligation, to at least tell you what's going on, in case you didn't notice. because, you know, such things are deliberately hidden from you so that you never get out of the situation that you're in. And so I tell you the things that are hidden from you, or I'm reminding you of things that you occasionally think about but then get scared and then just forget about it as fast as you can. I mean, I could say I'm poor, but I'm very good at my job, and my boss gives me certificates, texts me, leaves messages on my mobile answer phone saying, "You're doing a great job, Lee. Well done, Lee." Blah 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 blah. But he won't give me more money. But that's very, very common, you know, that's very, very common. A lot of people, they are in that situation and they're thinking, well, I work so hard and everybody appreciates what I do, but yet I never get a pay rise. But then you still go and work harder and try to be even more conscientious in the ridiculous hope that you would actually get more money, you know? Well, yeah, in the hope you get more money, and in the hope that you'll forget about your own poverty. People have kids. Oh, I've only got my opinions on that. So I won't say about that. If you go onto the internet and you go on maps, looking at the Earth, it's got to be well over 70% of all land mass does not have human beings living there. It's mostly forests, fields, deserts. And if you look at, say, Great Britain, it's a small island. It's a small island. You can tell where all the people are. They're in cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham, Edinburgh. When you look on the maps, you know, like from a, what's that called, crows? No, bird's eye view. You can see where all the people are, and you can see how much free space there is where people don't live. But the world government, what they want is they want everybody to live in cities, because you're easier to control. And apart from that reason, there really isn't a reason for us to live that way. We should be spread out. We should have lots of space. That's how it. Why would it be any other way, apart from, you know, the minority making up these ridiculous ways to live? And in the past, I think it's become quite clear on Flat Earth British, you know, the research that's gone on, that, you know, those cities were like plants. They were like some kind of ecological function. These places were not built for humanity to abide in at all. You know, and since over the years all of these cities have been decommissioned and everything removed, and people arrived in these places and made them dwelling places. You know, I mean, that's all it is. That's the world we live in today. You know, if you go to a church, they don't have fireplaces. Churches, they don't have chimney stacks. And if you didn't know, England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, most of the time it's bloody cold here. So these church buildings, these cathedrals, why do they not have chimneys? Why do they not have fireplaces? Why do they not have toilets? Why are they all such things added in the last 150 years? And why do they lie saying that their house is of a god or a religion, and put crucifixes or Star of Davids or whatever, waving kitties? So what I'm trying to say, in a way, that there is nothing normal about life. Nothing. None of it makes any fucking sense. It's all fucking stupid, ridiculous, and a lot of human suffering. By a minority of people. Maybe 200 people who call themselves the ruling class, who wear uniforms. Like a judge. And they're saying, like, this is right, this is the right way to live. You know, pay your taxes, you should do this, you should do this, you should do that, you should do this. A minority of people. Who has the right to tell you what to do, how to live your life? Who has that right? Your mum? Your father? And beyond I'd say no to all of them, and anybody else should be less important. But then they don't really have the authority to tell you how to live. It should be your choice, not their choice. And so when it comes to government, when it comes to any institution, any part of the system, world government, whatever you want to call them, they have got no basis on which to stand and tell you how you should live. It's a nonsense. It's a complete nonsense. Some people may disagree with me, but I would say that, you know, the nation of world government, you know, they are people. I know some people don't agree with that, but I'd say that they are people, as well as the 9, 8, 10 billion people that live on Earth. We're just people. So what gives the right? I mean, what is the point of, from where can one person go to another and say this is how you should live? Give me a reason. They're religious. They know God. They're the king. They're the queen. I mean, what do you want? They're a scout leader? What do you want? Does it matter? You know, all these positions that these people have got nothing to do with the earth and the sky and animals, plants, food, fruit, you name it, real life. Nothing to do with it. You know, what has a high court judge got to do with an apple tree or a frog? Take your pick. Take your pick. You know, any fruit, any veg you like, any animal you like. Boris Johnson, you know, Donald Trump, a tadpole, a leaf, a snowflake. What's the relation? From where? From what do they tell you? From how you should live? Crazy. Completely crazy. There was a scene in the movie Demolition Man. And a character in the movie, at one point he says something along the lines of, you know, if I want to cover my body in green jelly and run through the streets naked, I should be able to do that without anybody stopping me from doing it. That's what he said. And I mean, you know, for me, I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? You know? And most people will say, well, it's against the law. Say what? So it's against the law? No, it's against the law. But where did the law come from? The minority. The laws come from the minority. They sit in their little rooms and they make the laws up every day. Even right now as I speak, laws are being passed, new regulations, new laws, new guidelines, new this, new that. At the moment, I can still fart in public. It's not a criminal offence. Even in a confined area, I can fart. Even if, you know, if somebody is with me. You know, it's not against the law. But eventually, that will be illegal. Because every day, they're making up new laws. And there's probably millions of laws. So many that it's impossible to even remember them all. There are some movies. I can remember One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But there's another one. I can't remember. But a mental asylum. So maybe you've never been to one. But you must at least have seen it depicted on TV, on the internet. So if you can imagine yourself being there, it wouldn't take very long, and you conclude that everybody in that place was mad because of the way they behave, and it's so different to the way people live outside of the mental asylum. And so it's quite easy to see the difference. But the truth is all humanity are like people in a mental asylum. They are completely manipulated by fear, and as a consequence, the things that they do are completely insane. Like me. Here I am in a van, working all day. I could have done anything today. I could have gone anywhere. I could have sculptured something, done a painting, gone for a run, had sex, climbed a tree. So many things I could do. Travel. I could go for just walk. Just walk. So many things I could do. Instead, I enslaved myself. Like everybody else. It is completely insane. It's lunacy, the way humanity lives. There's no need for it. But humanity believes there is a need for it. And the minority tell them there is a need for it. But the minority won't call it lunacy. The minority calls it wisdom, responsibilities, etc., etc., etc. But it's lunacy. There is no doubt. It's utter lunacy, the way that we live. So, you know, if you're not happy with your life, if you're somewhat puzzled, curious as to why nothing makes sense, now you know. But I mean, yeah, that's just basics. That's just basics. There's so much more. I've literally done hundreds and hundreds of VanaVlogs. No, I've done probably 100 VanaVlogs on the old channel. I don't know how many I've done. Probably 100. Discussing the many, many, many different scenarios that perplex people in life, you know? And I've just revealed it all there, but now it's all gone. Sucks. Yeah, so I was wrong about the Flat Earth British Tour thing. I thought it would be like, you know, like the event, was it last year or the year before? I can't remember now. Where, you know, you had Martin and guest speakers in a building, you know, like events. I thought it was like that. I didn't realise it would literally be, you know, just Martin and his crystals on ley lines. Yeah, I didn't realise it was like that. Oh yeah, I was going to go to Bath. I was going to go to the one in Bath. Now in my world, Bath was always in Kent. I call it World A, World B. You know? In World A, it was always in Kent, Bath. And the story behind it was that you had London was supposed to be the Roman capital, and then as the Romans were coming in up the Thames from the coast to go into central London, you'd got Bath there, and they were going to have baths there, you know, having been like, you know, at sea for weeks or months, I don't know. Then they go to Bath, which is in Kent, and then they have their baths, they clean up and everything else, back onto the ship, or not, and then to London. last month. I was telling my wife that I was thinking about going to see Martin on one of his tour places, Bath, and she said it's not in Kent. And then I went on maps on the internet, and lo and fucking behold, it's near Wales. It's like up fucking north. It's like between Wales and Birmingham, I think, is what it was on the map. And I'm like, since when? You know, it's all fucking Kent, Roman stuff, and London. It's not over there, but now it is. Apparently now it is. Fine. And it was that, you know, that song, Moby, Why Does My Heart Feel So Sad? That was World A. That's not so long ago. That might have been January this year. I was listening to it, and I'm thinking, it's such a fucking depressing song. And the whole tone of it, why does my heart feel so bad? I was like, so fucking depressing. And then after my, whatever the fuck happened to me in February, the song came on again. And guess what? It's now Glad. Why does my heart feel so glad? And I'm like, since when was it glad? So now it's, why does my heart feel so glad? But when you sing the song, if your heart was glad, it'd be a happy tune, right? But it's far from fucking happy, this tune. It's fucking miserable and fucking depressing. Because it was always about being sad, not glad. So now I'm in this weird fucking world, where Bath is like fucking northwest England. And Moby is now singing a depressing sounding fucking song, saying that his heart feels glad. What next? So yeah, I checked the other tour dates, and they're all near Wales. I mean, I can understand why, because Martin's from Wales. But yeah, it's all in fucking Wales. So that's gone for a burp. That's what I mentioned there. I don't want anybody to think that I'm not interested in Flat Earth British anymore or something like that. It's not that, it's just external circumstances. The lunacy of man. The ratio of oxygen and water in the sea or freshwater lake is different from the air that we breathe. We do breathe air and water. The ratio is different. Try breathing underwater, in the sea or in a lake, freshwater lake. You'll soon see the difference. Nevertheless, we do breathe air and water, so we are aquatic. And you can call it a coincidence if you like, but most things are based on the fact that we are aquatic, like fish. Our law, everything's to do with the sea. Banks, currency, currents in the sea, currency, banks, river banks, docks, birth, fishing, casting, broadcasting, just the language, everything. Everything's based on something to do with living at sea. Canal, birth canal, just about everything you say has got something to do. There's supposed to be something between 70 and 80% water as well. And of course that's just lunacy, because we don't live at sea, you know, we live on land. You know, we're landlubbers, we're not seafarers, and yet world legal system's all based on the sea. Black's Law Dictionary, just read through it. It's all to do with the sea. Ships, fellowship, companionship, friendship. It just goes on and 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 on. I work for a company, ship's company, work for a company. So I guess what I'm trying to do is to, you know, I'd say that the majority of the world is like off-balanced. Off-balanced, like a boat on the ocean. You've got to be balanced, right? Everyone knows that they're off-balanced, and they want to like, but oh shit, am I fucking distracted myself? Yeah, fucking getting hot. And they're taught from an early age, through trauma, to always blame themselves. You know, if you're having a problem, it's your problem. You know, it's your problem. I've got a problem. That's a terminology we're taught to use. I've got a problem. My problem is this. My problem is that. But that's an imbalance in thinking. So I'm trying to correct the balance here by telling you that when you have a problem, it's not automatically your fault that you're to blame. I'd say that 99% of the time it's not your fault, it's the fault of everything outside of you, like taxes, I would just say money. It's always money. Money, just no end. It's such a great invention to cause misery, you know, and problems. It's a fantastic invention, I must admit. You know, the applications for human misery is just fucking nearly infinite, I would have said. But is it your fault that money exists? Is it your fault? No, it's not your fault. You know? Do you have a choice to live another way? Can you live without money? Probably not. Probably not. So, if you've got money problems, see the words I'm using, if you've got money problems, it's not your fault. And it's not your money. You know, that's one. The rule makers, the minority, the rule makers, and you not following all of their rules and living the way that they want you to live and say that you should live, and everybody around you that believes all of that is correct, them as well, they're giving you the problem. It's not your problem. It's not your fault. But I have to tell you so I can correct the balance. And of course, balance is money, isn't it? And on and on and on and on it goes, on and on. What's it? How long have I been with Flat Earth British? 3 years? 4? I don't even... I can't remember. Wise Up is 8 years, but he's not actually like... He hasn't said he's Flat Earth British. But he's about 8 years. I think Martin's about... 7? And then I was like 5, 4 years, something like that. But yeah, you know, I've just been going through all of these things, all of them, over the years. You're the victim. You're the victim. You're the victim. A victim of money. A victim of the minority. And yeah, you know, I haven't come up with an alternative way to live. That's not the purpose of this VanaVlog. That's not the purpose of this VanaVlog. And it would be inconsistent of me to do that, to tell you how to live anyway. I mean, I could come up with suggestions, but that's about it, you know. But I mean, I'd have to do a VanaVlog just on that subject alone. And then I'd have to be very, very careful because I don't want to tell you how you should live your life. But my point of this vlog, really, I suppose, is to tell you that you're being told how to live by people that you don't know, you probably don't like, and people that hate you want you dead and want to get rich off of you. I mean, I know that's of no great surprise, but that's what needs to be known, just to begin with. You know, if you're planning, or you have an inkling, a desire deep within you to think, I need to do something because everything's just wrong and I'm so fucking miserable, I need to do something. And I can see that, you know, without the things that I'm telling you, you'd be hard pressed to come up with something, because everything's against you by design, everything. So I just want to eliminate those shackles on you. And then should you choose to live the way that you want to live, it won't be quite as difficult. Categorically, the world as you know it today, what would I call that? Hold on, what would you call that? Subplot? A subplot? That doesn't sound right, Phoenicia. Oh yeah, sub. Yeah, sub. Okay. An underlining storyline going on for everybody, for life. There's an underlining story. Truth within the realm of life, which is that humanity is not from the geographical area that we know as Earth. We're from somewhere else. And what that means is that the environment that we live in is, we don't have any like symbiosis with it. We're not really one and the same thing, where we should be. You know, if you think of matter, we're all made of matter. We're all made of the same stuff. You'd think that everything there would be some kind of symbiosis, or complete, just you know, just nothing wrong. You know, it could go up to a fruit tree that had no fruit and say, bear me fruit. Boom, there it is. Why not? Just because the opposite we're familiar with doesn't fucking make it right or normal or acceptable. You just assume that, well, you've got no power over nature, so nobody does, so it must be okay. But it's not. You know, where we're from, nature is not the same.